Sweet. Sometimes you get a good article quick. Sometimes you don't.
You have an article?
I do have an article. This is good.
You got a Kool-Aid jammer.
Kool-Aid jammers.
What you really got.
That's what I
loving.
Is what I got.
Jammers. Which ones do we have? We have the classic flavors.
Tropical Punch.
Ooh, that is
yummy.
When I think of Kool-Aid jammer, that's what I think of. That one or cherry or grape.
I was gonna say red.
Red one.
Red
for you.
Red. These are okay. I didn't want to make a cup of coffee. So, David,
how's it going?
This is the way it should have been from the beginning.
Just two dudes sipping.
Two dudes sipping. That sounds like a podcast. Two dudes sipping. That's what we do for an hour. Just yeah, that'll get a lot of watches.
Yeah, I know Tristan would watch it.
He would. But I don't know if that's the barometer I would use.
What? He's a third of this.
Okay, so should we acknowledge it off the bat, or should we just acknowledge it later?
Man.
The elephant in the room.
What would Tristan do?
The elephant outside the room. Acknowledge it right off the bat.
Yeah.
And talk a bunch of crap.
Yeah, so he abandoned us for a vacation to be with his family. That's it. Bye. All right. TRIFLIX.
So,
all right.
It's just David and I today.
Yep.
But
just us.
That's the only difference. We're going to talk about stuff like we always do.
I love stuff.
Yeah. So, I do have a news story.
Okay.
In the 9th hour, I found one.
Ooh.
News story. Time traveler.
Oh.
So, I don't know if you've heard of this trend or not. This is a thing. Hold on, I'm rolling up my pants because it's hot. And I've got jeans on. Okay. So
a lot of information there.
What? Rolling up my jeans, man. Trying to let my legs out. Actually, I'm gonna take these socks off too.
All right, I'm gonna take a sip from my.
Oh, that's so much better. Gotta let them pigs fly. Get on out there.
Yeah, keep them away from me.
Okay. Hey, they're not even anywhere near you. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So, come to find out, there's this trend on TikTok.
No.
Okay. I guess there's a lot of time travelers on TikTok now.
No way. Is that where they are?
Supposedly.
Oh, man.
TikTok is the time traveling mechanism of the internet.
Oh, get it? Because, like, it's the clock goes tick-tock and it's like time and
I've traveled.
That makes so much sense. What are they doing on there?
Technically, we're all time travelers.
We can only just go forward at a very slow rate.
Thank you. Second at a time.
Yeah, such a lame
I know, that sucked.
ability. So, what do we got? What's going on there?
So here's the deal, okay? So this time traveler is warning that later this year, a new species will emerge after the ground opens up.
New species of what?
Oh, here you go. Okay, so like it says, he's saying that it specifically, they're nicknaming it the Great Split, and it will happen July 14th, 2022. Mark your calendars.
I'm marking it. It's already on my calendar.
America's biggest earthquake.
Wow.
Okay. This is his handle on TikTok is the Hidden God 1.
Couldn't claim the normal hidden God. Don't want to be that guy. The great prophet was too late to capture his own username.
Not that awesome. So supposedly this video has been viewed 6.7 million times, and it's just pictures of, it looks like this is definitely a movie scene from, I think, 2012.
Okay.
So,
the movie 2012.
Yeah,
I was like, what movie? But they named it 2012.
It's the old Great Split. This is the 2022 Great Split. You know,
that one wasn't real. This is the one that's actually happening.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe it.
So
I'm locked in.
So there's one, and it says extreme weather will impact the world in recent years. Let's see. Secondly, on August 9th, we are also 2 million people around the world will mysteriously disappear.
Oh my gosh! I hope I'm one of them.
Yeah. Oh, and there's another one on the 3rd of October.
Is this all from the same guy? Or are these different people?
No, I think this is all from the same guy.
Okay.
And it says that stalkers will start showing up around the world. Like the creatures.
Oh, from like the game?
Yeah.
Oh man, I believe it.
So
I am. I can't believe how on board I am with this guy. I'm gonna have to.
The Hidden God One, man.
I'm pulling him up on TikTok right
this
now.
is gonna get you on
Hidden
TikTok.
God One. That's what I've been needing to pull me into the. What is it? The algorithm.
The algorithm.
Yeah.
The one that rules them all.
Oh my goodness, that's a baby.
Okay. Well, yeah. So watch out, everybody. July 14th, the Great Split. Watch yourself. Okay.
In America only.
That's it.
Only
Just
place that
America.
matters.
Well, yeah, because earthquakes. They very regional. It'll be fine.
So
Where's our music?
California specifically. Oh yeah, the music. Let's make it together. Boop boop doop boop boop doo 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 boop boop
Oh my gosh. Is that long enough?
Give it like 10 more seconds. TRIFLIX.
What's
cast.
up?
Welcome everybody. We're without Tristan today, but that's the most we're going to say about it.
That's it. That's all the airtime he gets today.
Yep. I am efficiency manager and maybe soon to be a office manager.
Maybe.
Tristan, please. And we got over here, we got Cole Ankney. He is a producer, and he kind of helps keeps everything else going that I don't decide to stick my nose into. So we're a powerful team, minus Tristan. But shout out to Daniel Morgan. You're helping us chug along. We
Thanks,
appreciate
man.
You.
Yeah, we got to give him a positive shout out today.
Yep. After all the
We
tearing down he did on
2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But that's okay. He'll make it.
Yep. What do? We do a lot of video stuff, the stuff that you're looking at on YouTube right now. It's the things that we like to do most. But if you're just listening to us, that's okay too, because we like to be pretty good at that.
Yeah.
Audio stuff.
We like to think we are.
Yeah.
We try.
We're upgrading. We're becoming better. We like to be the best video production company in the state and then
in the
world.
Worldwide.
Yeah, Mr. Worldwide. But
Prestige worldwide.
we love to talk about topics that matter to us in that way, and somewhat maybe not. I don't know. We also just fans of technology, so
Big fans.
whatever happens in the news when we're doing this, that's what we like to talk about.
Yeah, and we've got some news stuff to talk about, and then we're actually going to carry over our conversation from last week a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Because my argument for the Meta Quest 2 was so strong. David went home and bought one.
He influenced me so much. I
should be
actually
getting
went
paid.
home and did my own research.
No. Don't start. You watched one video. That doesn't count.
Okay. So I knew for the
Not even
most
close.
part, it was like 90% what I wanted. The only thing I really
'Cause of
needed to
me.
make sure, yes,
I
because
got you
of
to 90.
You got me to 90%. I trust your judgment on most things. A lot of what we think about aligns. But I am a different type of gamer than Cole.
It's true.
And-
Hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a real gamer.
He's got a gallon of Mountain Dew.
Baja Blast.
Baja Blast. Baja. He lives in a basement. I mean,
Yeah.
how gamer is
I'm
that?
alone. I live in a basement and I play video games. I mean, how more gamer can you get?
I love it.
What I needed from the Meta Quest is I want to be able to play the
that sounds
games.
horrible. The Meta Quest.
The Meta Quest
It is
2.
the quest of the meta,
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I just had to point
it's
that
the
out.
quest to find more quests.
I guess.
What if you could like put a
Different
Meta
realms.
Quest on while you're inside the Meta Quest?
Well,
Then
that's
that
actually-
would be a Meta Quest.
That's true. It'd be very meta. I'm ready for the promised land. Take me, Zuck.
Zuck, take the wheel.
Okay, what got you the last 10%?
The 10% was Linus Tech Tips said it wasn't terrible.
Small indie channel.
Small indie channel. Shout out to them.
Getting there.
And then they also demonstrated you can connect it with a cable to your computer, which has more intense graphics power and everything, and you can make it run the game itself and just show the feed on your little set of goggles. And
I didn't know it could do.
Yeah. I mean, at first when I heard about it, I thought you couldn't do that.
Have you tried it?
I have tried it. I bought the game Boneworks. It's one of Tristan's kind of favorite studios, Stress Level Zero. They were originally part of like Freddie W's type thing. I forget the guy's name. Brandon JLA something, I think.
Don't look at me.
He'll be mad at me for not getting it right.
Probably.
But
he's not here.
They kind of pioneered the VR realm and what you can and can't do. And so they were very, pronounced when their game came out. And it's really cool. And I've been playing Boneworks for a little bit. Only have like 10 hours in.
Only.
And it takes a while. It's just fun to be in there. I mean, VR just a whole different experience. You can kind of do whatever you want in real life. Fake. You can fake whatever you do in real life. So it's actually not that interesting.
I know, right? When you really break it down.
Yeah. But the cool thing, my favorite part about Boneworks is that like you don't have to have like the strength to climb things because it's all simulated.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like you can climb like pipes and like lift yourself up by just like your forearms. It's like, wow, my character in game just like really hit the gym for the past 10 years because I'm not even using my legs to climb up this pipe. And so it's pretty cool. You can like climb things and like look over edges and jump around. So it's been fun.
Is it like open world type that you're just kind of messing around with, or like is there like a purpose for the game?
There's like a storyline to it.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of, I think it's kind of like a VR inspiration of like Half-Life.
Oh, okay.
So kind of how Half-Life was a game that pioneered the 3D like shooter game, making it mainstream and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think Boneworks is trying to be that, but for VR.
Gotcha.
And they kind of worked with Valve a little bit on some stuff too. But
okay.
Valve is a studio that made Half-Life and other games that you probably heard of. But that's what pushed me over the edge for the Quest 2 and the price. It's only like $300, which is amazing for a VR headset of its capabilities because the barrier to entry was pretty high for a while. It was like $600 minimum.
Yep.
And I don't know, like the Valve index was like 1,000.
Yeah, no, they got pretty pricey pretty fast.
Yeah. So, but I bought another game that's on the headset itself. It's called Beat Saber.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. Yeah.
A lot of fun with that. Well, I've played it now, so I can kind of speak to it.
I know, right?
So my arms and shoulders are quite sore.
Which is like we talked about. It's like the main reason I bought the headset because I'm like, I like to play games. I'm a pretty casual gamer. Just enjoy trying to have some fun. You know, something different. Grew up with video games, so it's like I like it.
Nintendo,
but I'm not like not Nintendo because I knew what a good game was.
You hurt my soul every time you say it.
See, I cared more about graphics.
That's
like,
true.
Give me more graphic power. I want higher resolution, better textures. Like that was the goal.
Right.
Because, I like the cinematic aspect of games anyways. So the ability to have
Nintendo
something in higher
is
fidelity.
not known for that. They're known for making just fun games that barely use the graphics.
Correct.
Like even like their most recent games, they don't. Yeah.
No, there's no.
I understand.
It's not 4K 120 VRR.
It doesn't make you feel like Batman.
So I've been I've been impressed with it. So I'm excited that you got one, and David and I need to try out like the multiplayer features online. I'm interested to see how it all interfaces, but that'll be later. We'll talk about that
later.
Maybe we'll get some video of it here in the studio.
Yep. When we have some new, was it those rolls, this green screen roll?
Yes.
Of paper as backdrop. That's what it is.
Yes. We bought some new paper backdrops, which we've been putting the studio together little bits at a time, which we'll talk about even more about that today. But like, we finally got the rolls put up, and they are just 9-foot wide paper rolls that
they're really nice.
They're super nice. They're Savage, so they're
Savage
made in the USA. They're really cool. So we were struggling to purchase them because they're 9 feet long, and they cost hundreds of dollars to ship. And so we're like,
because it's such an awkward box that they come in.
Which I get, you know. You're like, oh, here's a 9-foot long box that's like not even a foot wide. So
that's not going to fit in a standard Amazon box.
No, not so much. So they're like $200 to ship, and that's more than the 3 rolls we bought. collectively put together. So I went to Roberts and purchased them. We got black, white, pure white. Sorry. There's 3 different whites. And then a tech green.
Tech green.
So in telling you that, we're also hoping that like those 2 things can go together, because we can, I think, if we do it right, you can use the green screen and you can stand in front of it with the VR headset on, and then it'll essentially show you in your environment if you film it correctly.
Yeah, I haven't looked too much into it, but I think we can do it. We might have to get like...
We have the technology.
I
definitely think we have the stuff we need.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming that you have a pretty powerful PC.
Oh, yeah. So...
That's half the battle.
I don't know if it's cross-platform. We'd have to look into it, but we'll be able to do something with it for sure.
Yeah. We just want to see, it'd be really cool to just at least try it.
Yes.
And maybe we can eventually, I don't know, we can make a virtual TRIFLIX.
We talked about it, having our own little store in the metaverse.
I mean, if it's a thing and that's what people are doing, I mean, I guess we'll give it a shot. If it gets us business, I don't
know how it would work even, because like all of our stuff is in the real world, unless like we have like a virtual camera. I don't know.
Which, then you're shooting virtual videos?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of what Disney
crazy.
and Pixar does.
Oh, yeah.
Because
with the animation.
Did you hear about that? Yeah, like they like tracked someone holding just not a actual camera, but like a rig that has the motion sensors that like VR does have.
Yep.
And they mapped that into like this Toy Story's like virtual camera to make it look handheld.
That's insane.
Yeah. So we could do that maybe.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now I could see that being an asset.
Yes.
To be able to be like, okay, now we can do all these virtual shooting.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
And I would be remiss to not mention Corridor Digital in this, because that's something they did.
Yes.
For their virtual Dungeons and Dragons thing, their D&D, Cole. It's a thing. People do it.
I know it's a thing.
I'm speaking out for you, Tristan, because I know that you would probably bring it up here. They were having troubles with it, but they mapped using like the VR like kit thing. You can put a little sensor on top of your camera, and you can have it connect to the rendering environment they had on their computer to make it 3D, because they had like a 3D modeler make a whole area like for a video game.
Yep.
In I think it was Unity, and they mapped that to the virtual camera so they can record themselves in real life and then stick it into the game where it's rendered, but it'll like match all the camera features with like the same field of view, the f-stops and everything, so it looks like it's the same thing but virtual.
And they're very cool.
Stuck in, which is it's pretty awesome. I would love to try that, but technology for that's probably not in the budget right now.
Not so much.
Man,
we're getting there
soon.
I mean, we just hung these sound blankets in here. I am thinking I'm getting a little bit of a difference in here.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit less reverb. I think in like the higher pitched things, especially, you can dim it down.
It'll be interesting once we get 3+ more people in here again. So you guys will have to let us know. We've actually, not to toot our own horn or anything, but we've gotten some compliments on our audio. So I'm hoping that this helps take us to the next level. I'm thinking we'll get some stuff in the corners. We'll be good to go.
Yep. The corners right now, if you ever walk around a room and you kind of just talk at a wall, you can hear
David does a
lot. Really weird and make everybody stare at you and think like, what's wrong with that man staring at a wall and talking to it? You can hear more of an echo, especially if you look up into the corner and you talk. You can hear it compared to the rest of the room. So,
which I've got some ideas.
Yeah,
we are we're pushing really hard to, and I know we've talked about this many a time, but as we're growing, we've definitely been pushing really hard to step up the game in the space that we have. Yeah. And we are going to use the backdrops for the first time for a shoot coming this week. So
I'm excited for that.
Very excited about that. Yeah. We'll get to utilize the new lights, the new set, all the things. So I'm excited to give it a shot. We have most of the tools to do the things that we need in the space. So which is
that's what we've been gunning for this entire time.
It's exciting. And we've been in here less than a year. We got it October of last year.
What?
Yeah.
It feels so much longer being in here. We've done so much stuff in here.
It's come a long way from bare bones to this. So
I'm quite proud of ourselves with
what
we've done.
Look at us.
Pretty happy.
Just a bunch of money.
Yeah. All
In
the
the
money
track.
in
No,
this place. These hexagons were a lot of money, and you know, I looked at the reviews, and they're kind of not the best for like their jobs. Like the normal square ones,
Yeah.
that are big and like kind of thicker depth to them. They kind of do a little bit more, but you know,
It's,
I like how these look.
I was
so
going to say
I'm not gonna
that's
complain.
that is more of an aesthetic thing.
Yes.
To be honest with you, I honestly think with the blankets, and if we throw some stuff in the corners, I honestly think we're going to be just about there.
Yeah, I think the corners are probably the biggest adversaries right now in sound that we have at the moment.
Then we might throw some stuff on the doors that might help as well. Throw a little bit of sound foam on the doors. So we're getting there. This room's going to be locked in. We're also trying to find a new table. But anyways, we'll talk more about that at a later date.
Okay. What we got?
Yeah, we've got something else to talk about today. Moment of silence for the iPod.
Yeah, and you play some
done.
taps.
She gone.
She's gone. Apple recently announced on their own little newsroom that after about like 20 years, they are
20 years.
discontinuing the iPod, and they will be sold for as long as supplies last.
Which I bet most of you listening probably didn't even know they still sold iPods.
Right.
Which that is the iPod Touch variant. They are not selling the ones with the click wheels.
I feel like they shot themselves in the foot with that. Like they're just selling an iPhone without cellular stuff in it.
Yeah,
so like
for sure,
you're competing against yourself. And I think if they just stuck with like the shuffles, which for those who don't know what an Ipod Shuffle is, it's
sorry,
just,
you suck. Goodbye.
Yeah,
No.
get out of here. Close the podcast. We don't want you watching anymore. If you remember the click wheel ones, they basically just chop the screen off and you just control the iPod, and it's like really tiny and small, and it's just like
it was
a lot of joggers and runners would just like strap it onto their forearm and like bada bing bada boom, there you go, you got a little music player, and like that's all they needed it for.
No, for sure. Because I mean, that's what I bought both of my kids a iPod Touch. Because again,
price.
it is what was it? I think it was just under $2.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. But still, I mean, for the fact that you could pick one up and it did everything that an iPhone did minus cell service, and it was thinner, lighter, and it was at a price point where you're like, yeah, if you lose it or break it, I'm less worried about it. And it doesn't come with like a service fee attached, or a service agreement. So, it's like there's Wi-Fi most places.
Yeah. And, now that I mentioned like the iPod Shuffle just being on your body and like you can run around and do stuff, I think, was it the AirPods? You can put like music in their box. Is that a thing that you can do?
I don't know.
You can have it downloaded to it?
I don't know if you can, that sounds, I know the one thing that you can do is if you have a pair of AirPods, you can pair them to your watch.
Yes.
And your watch does save music.
You know what? Looking
Similar.
at it, it's very similar form factor to a Shuffle.
And what are they? They're like 4 gig or something like that?
Yeah.
I think is what they
I forget
allocate.
how many songs is a gig.
Gosh, there's a good amount. I mean, especially the stuff that essentially you're using your music platform, whether that's Spotify, YouTube Music, or Apple Music, and it's just, it can keep a rotation of downloaded music on your device.
Okay.
And then you can essentially go on a run without taking your phone or anything else and just using your Apple Watch.
So I guess like I said, I think they just kind of cannibalized their iPods market.
Yeah.
And 20 years for a product, that's a pretty good long run.
Yeah, and I think they probably did just fine with the iPod. That was one of the things that really got them off the ground. Mm-hmm. So it was a good
huge.
run.
It wasn't super revolutionary because it didn't do too much different other than just be easy to use,
but that's huge.
Not be the Zune.
You know what's funny though? I never had one, but man, I thought the Zune was good looking.
Yeah, I kind of liked the design of it. Like it didn't look terrible.
Yeah, I didn't think the UI was that bad either.
Yeah, I never owned one either, but I really nerded out about iPods growing up. That was my thing. I would pull up the keynotes because Steve Jobs and his keynotes were just killer. I don't think anybody's come close to him just because of how, like even the modern Apple stuff, I just doesn't seem the same.
No,
compared
no.
to how Steve Jobs ran the keynotes.
And that's the thing. Like, I was not a big Apple guy. Like back in the day, it was like Apple. Like, so when the first iPhone came out, don't get me wrong, I saw a couple of them in the world, and I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was like it's a music player. No, it was like an iPod, a video player, an internet communications device. It was cell phone. Yeah, iPod, cell phone, internet
I'm pretty sure you
communicator.
said something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was some weird thing, and it was like, but I don't know what an internet communicator is. And he like said it over and over and over, and people were like, do you get it now? It's the iPhone. And people were like, oh my gosh. They're just flipping things around.
$600, right?
Yeah.
I think they were when they came out.
I mean, the first one
twice
didn't even have an app store.
Yeah, right.
And like,
dude,
it got people in.
I can remember. So at the time, we're going to nerd out. Okay.
Yeah.
At the time, I had a Motorola Q.
What is that?
So that was, come on, man. I was so hoping.
Let me look it up. Keep talking.
It essentially looks like a BlackBerry, but it was a Windows phone.
Gosh,
it
so
ran
ugly.
Windows. And that's what I had. I thought it was really cool.
It does look like a BlackBerry.
But it did all the stuff, right? I mean, it was a smartphone by all means. Like internet browser had all the things.
That age's definition of a smartphone.
Yeah, correct. Windows Mobile, right? Which was like, eh. But
Really
I
was.
can remember thinking it was so cool. And, you know, from there on, like I continued with my Windows Mobile, and eventually I got the first Android phone that came to Verizon. But I can remember,
Was it
like,
a Droid?
It was a Droid Aris.
Okay.
Yep. I have a spreadsheet of all the phones I've ever had and what year I bought them. And my first phone was like a Nokia, like one of the bricks, you know, you could throw it against a wall and it just kept going.
Yep, that's their signature.
Those were baller. But no, so
HTC.
Yep. So forever, I would make fun of people with iPhones because they didn't have copy and paste.
I forgot about that.
Took forever to copy and paste. And I'll be like, oh, hold on, let me copy and paste this real fast. Sucker.
It was like a revolutionary thing in their keynote too. It was like, now you could copy and paste, and like it was like, yay, I guess. Thank you for the basic feature of
Finally.
doing that. Yeah. My first smartphone was the iPhone 4S. And so I think that was like kind of the first well-made one, because there's like the iPhone, then iPhone's 3GS, iPhone 4 because they skipped 2, I guess, and then 4S.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The S was like the souped-up version of the 4, and it had like it fixed all the problems that the 4 had, and it was pretty good. I still have it. It still turns on. I still have a power cable for it somewhere, but it was good.
So funny.
I had like an old flip phone before. Everything.
I'm so proud to say that I made it till last year for my first iPhone. First one.
Wow. I was sophomore in high school, I think, when I got my iPhone.
Okay.
I then quickly moved away from it because
I was going to say, yeah.
I wanted to develop applications for my phone, and you had to pay like a license fee or something to even like mess with it at the time. I forget what it was, but I was like, I want to do it for free. And so like Android it is. And then I got the Motorola X, Moto X. And that was probably my favorite Android phone for a very long time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The Droid X.
No, it was just called the Moto X.
Really?
Moto X. Yep. It was,
I don't know if I remember that one.
I think it was one of the first phones that Google produced when they bought Motorola, if you remember that.
Oh, yeah,
They bought Motorola.
I know what you're talking about
and
now.
then they made the Moto X.
That's right.
And it was just so awesome because it was like pure vanilla Android. They didn't do anything to it.
Yes.
Had a great camera. Had all the features I wanted. You could customize it too. You could custom order it like with all the colors you want.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Made in America.
Oh, I remember that one now because I would go through the configurator a couple times.
Yeah,
That's
I
hilarious.
nerded out about that because I was looking at it for a long time. I was like, man, I wonder which colors I want and all this stuff. And yeah, it was awesome.
Dude, I miss HTC so bad.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to them. They just kind of blew it, didn't they?
Yeah, so I had the Aris, which was their first one on Verizon, and then I had the Incredible, which was also HTC, and I had the Thunderbolt, which was also HTC, and then the One M7 and the One M8.
They were killing it for a long time.
They were
even with they partnered with Valve to make one of the first like awesome VR headsets, the HTC Vive.
Yeah,
and they're still doing VR headsets, but it was like that one. That was like the revolutionary like kind of turning point for VR headsets, because like they had these trackers and everything at the time, but it's still expensive.
I feel like they're really good at getting the ball going and like getting that product going, and then eventually just kind of like
yeah.
Because they even teamed up with Google when they made the first Pixel. That was an HTC, which was still like my favorite Android phone. You know, like when I got my first Pixel, I was like, this is amazing, because it was so rock solid.
Right. Yeah, I had a friend in high school, my friend Gary, and he was super nerded out about phones with me all the time. And HTC,
it's the best.
Yeah, they were great.
I miss it.
I just, we should probably talk about cameras on the smartphones. If we're talking about smartphones, we have to talk about cameers.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right, especially during that time, during the 2012 and maybe to like 2017, smartphone cameras were just insanely changing at a rapid rate, because they were trying to figure out how to make that such a tiny sensor look good.
Yep.
And really it just kind of came down to post-processing and AI. But there was a time
that came a lot later though.
Yeah. But there was a time there where it was just like kind of desperate to find a good-looking cell phone shooter.
It's true. It's true. I mean, and there was a megapixel war for a long time.
Yeah.
That was like the first thing, right? They're like,
it's got 80 megapixels, where this one only has like 24, but like it might actually look better with like less megapixels.
Yeah. Well, so that, I think one of the good like examples, or the kind of the interesting examples to examine was the HTC One M7.
Yeah.
Because they came out with this phone, right? And it's a sea of, at this point, like, let's see. During that year, the Galaxy Note 3 came out. And if you don't mind, look up what the megapixel count was on the Galaxy Note 3 real fast. But on the One M7, it was a 4 megapixel camera. And what they had done was they had integrated larger pixels within it so that you could get more light. And this was their whole shtick, right? And they're like, larger pixels, you get more light, this and that. But we're going to keep it 4 megapixel, because for whatever reason, they couldn't get away from the 4.
Wow.
And I can remember being like, okay, we're gonna make this work. We're gonna see what it's like. And they kept it at that. And you could just see the difference of not having the resolution there. Mm-hmm. And let's see, I went from the Galaxy S3 to the One M7. And then I pretty quickly in the same year went to the Note 3.
So Note 3 says the main camera, back shooter, is 13 megapixels.
Yeah. So you got a 13 megapixel camera, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to a 4. And at that moment in time, like, it mattered.
Yeah.
Especially because there was not a lot of post-processing happening. I mean, you were still like, bought a Samsung, what'd you get? Very vibrant pictures. They were
very
always
saturated.
Very saturated. Yep. And you got a little bit more, less of that going on with like HTC and some of the other players.
Yeah.
And they were trying to do different camera stuff all the time. Like it was cool and it was different.
Man, when did this come out? 2013?
What, the Note 3?
Yeah.
It had some specs.
Wow. Because that camera goes up to 4K at 30 FPS.
Dude, it was...
that's pretty awesome for 2013.
I can remember it came out and I was like, okie dokie, that's a powerhouse right there. And so I bought one. And it, my favorite thing was it had like a faux leather back at that point still.
Oh, yeah.
With the faux stitching around it.
I remember seeing that. I was a little confused by it, but I was like, I guess that would be good.
It was great.
Yeah. I didn't really understand leather at the time. But
it was more of like, because again, like it was plastic with some like texture on it with a little bit of kind of like a rubber feel. So they tried to make it feel like it, but it was by no means leather.
Yeah. That was the one cool thing about the Moto X that I think it released around the same time. Let me look that up. You keep going while I look this up.
Yeah, you're good. I'm assuming you're going to talk about something about the backs coming off.
Yes.
Yeah.
2013.
So I think the last phone I had, because I don't know if the Galaxy... No, I'm actually pretty sure the Note 3, the back was still popping off of those. I don't remember. I think they stopped doing it on the 5. Okay. So I think it went all the way up to that. But, HTC was an aluminum body. and it was one central piece, so you couldn't do any of that. But man, being able to pop the back off and throw a battery or something in, I still miss that.
That was the one things I miss about the LG phones. There was for a while, I forget the name of the line, but you could swap out the batteries. That was like
swap,
a feature. Yeah, hot swappable batteries.
Yeah.
Which was just amazing at the time because that just used to be a ubiquitous feature pre-smartphones.
Right.
Thanks, Apple.
I know, right? Thanks for sealing everything shut. I will say, if you give me the choice between a removable battery and the water resistance or the waterproof,
it's a big trade-off.
give me the waterproof. I'd rather have it sealed and give me the waterproof because it's nice to know that I can dunk my phone and not have not have an issue.
Yeah. So I looked it up. It's the Moto X 2014 variant. So Moto X2, but they named it by year because, I prefer it by year because it's just easier to figure out.
Well, yes.
But they allowed you to have wooden backs, which I did a wooden back on mine. I upgraded immediately. It's like a mahogany, like a dark wood that I got on mine. But you could also get leather. And that was like the coolest thing. But I was afraid of it because I didn't know how to take care of leather. And I was like, I don't want to ruin it and have it like peel off. Because I think I might have heard about something with Samsung that did that.
Probably.
But it was so cool at the time. You could just customize and custom order and have it like blue accents, have the leather backs. And the camera on that was insane. The 2014 version. Yeah. That's the one I took to the Grand Tetons. And I took some of the best photos I think I've ever taken with a cell phone there ever.
That's impressive.
Yeah. I bet if I took my iPhone there and took the same shots, it'd probably be even better. But at the time...
Yeah, but think about the jump that we've had since then, right? I think the computational photography is very impressive. I mean, I have my qualms with the things that are happening because obviously we understand the basics of photography. And
there's a limit.
And we know what it's like to shoot something on a full frame camera that's meant for getting a good still.
Yes.
And we do a lot of HDR work. So we do a lot of the layering of images and pulling out the highlights and shadows that your phone is doing on its computer and using AI, in a millisecond when you shoot a photo. We're doing all that post-processing ourselves manually. Yeah. So we understand how these processes work and kind of see the behind the scenes. And you're just kind of like, the only problem with it is when you know that you can have that sort of control, it's hard to let it go.
Yeah.
And go here, like apply your style, without being able to really change it. Right. Because it's like, it bakes it in, it's done. It compresses the file. It makes it so it's the most, cell phone optimized file so that you can send it and do all these things and it looks good on your little screen. But it's like as soon as you start to blow these up and do any editing with it, they start to fall apart very quickly.
And I've been very spoiled, especially now working with you guys here, just knowing that like when we take a photo out of one of these very nice cameras, that like there's a lot of detail in there and it's relatively accurate to actually what's being thrown at the sensor. It makes me for most of the population, doesn't matter on your cell phone, like all the stuff they do to it. But like, I think it's disingenuous to me. It's like, when I take a picture, I want to take a picture, like know that like what I took was actually what I just saw.
Right.
Because I notice in videos, especially like if I'm outside and I'm walking around and like there's grass, if I move the camera too quickly, there's like this weird jello effect. And it's because of this post-processing is trying to prevent any smearing or whatever. So they're like kind of, it does some weird stuff. And it's like, I can't trust my phone camera to reproduce what I'm actually trying to film now.
Yep.
And I know it was probably just a glitch or something, probably fixed by now. But
probably
it was like 5 years ago. But still, like they're doing stuff to your photos and videos which relatively may not be accurate anymore to actually what you're trying to see.
Yep.
But most people, they just want to pick up their phone, go take a picture and be done, and just know that whatever they took a picture of was basically what they saw. And that's all they need.
The problem is it's made everybody a photographer.
Oh, everybody, get that bokeh.
I can just shoot it on my iPhone.
I didn't know your DSLR had portrait mode.
Right. Oh my gosh. And you can so pick out, I mean, if you have the eye, it's like you could so pick out you know, essentially a AI generated bokeh
Yeah.
as opposed to the actual thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. You going to sleep, buddy?
It's my bedtime
It's
coming up.
Is it your bedtime? What time's your bedtime at? Mine's at 10:30.
I've been trying to go to bed at around like 10 or 11:30. Yeah.
Well,
And it tells me an hour beforehand.
oh,
So
okay.
like, hey, start winding down.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I just have it like right at. It's like, hey, go to bed.
Go to bed right now.
But anyways, those are my qualms. But
Yeah.
the only nice thing is they did, I don't know, a couple iPhones ago, this one and probably the 12, I think, they introduced iPhone RAW.
Yeah.
So now you can shoot your pictures in RAW and you can skip all that post-processing and do what you need to do with the image.
Right.
Now, again, you're not getting as much detail as a full frame sensor. I mean,
Okay.
I think there's certain things where you can't, especially with photography. And I know there's other things in the world that like sound, like speakers, right?
Yeah.
When you have a bigger speaker and you have more resonance, you have more places for that sound to kind of bounce and do different things with it. But, you know, it's the same thing with a picture. It's like these larger format cameras, like the bigger the sensor you have, the more data you can collect. And the problem is you cannot fit that sensor in our phones.
No, because you need bigger glass, and that glass needs to be farther away from the sensor for it to capture the light and focus it right. And on the newer cameras that have like telephoto lenses, that's why they showed kind of the diagram of where there's like a box at the very top where the rest of the camera sensors are, but it like takes a 90-degree and there's like a funnel that just goes straight down and follows the back of the camera.
Yep.
Because it has to have that distance away for it to work. And so like they're finding cool, smart ways to get around the limitations of trying to be like thinner than a cookie.
Right.
But yeah, there's like physical limits that we just kind of just have to work around for your smartphone to just take the photos you need to have.
Yeah. And again, it's great for day-to-day stuff. I get it. It's great. Whatever. Video has come a long way. It's impressive.
And what bothers me is like when they have the photo or the video commercials that say shot on iPhone.
I know.
They do it with an iPhone, but then they slap a massive lens on the front of it because you can buy lens kits that can like be part of a case, and then the case holds the lens there for you because the built-in lenses are not good enough for looking that great. But it's kind of disingenuous, I believe, to be like, it's shot on iPhone, but like a stupid large lens on top.
Well, yeah, and it's like that plus just like any product, right? It's shot in specific
perfect environment.
Yeah, like the lighting, the setup, like the whole thing is meant to specifically show this product and what it can do. And so it's like the most ideal situation that you could ever shoot with it in that no one will ever encounter. You know, unless you're $1 trillion Apple.
You know, and then they're filmmakers, so they probably run it through like a denoiser and make it all pretty and like color corrected.
Yeah, it's not what just pops out.
Yeah, they just don't strip it out of the iPhone and say we're done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
because that's what we do. We do so much stuff on our own fancy cameras that we have to do to it to make it look right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to definitely do it to a smartphone camera.
But we've been integrating the phones into our workflow to a certain degree.
Yep.
And it's been interesting. It's been cool. I can't believe that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
But it helps us on the lower end of pricing to be able to help people out and still aid in that knowledge.
We still have to have external tools to help adapt to use your phone.
Yes.
Like we have a Ronin, what is it called? Your little gimbal doodad that you shove on it.
So it's actually within the Osmo line.
It's an Osmo.
Yes, because Ronin still implies part of the Pro line.
Okay.
So it's an Osmo mobile. We have the 5, and it's just a cell phone gimbal. I've seen a lot of people with these now.
Yeah.
Which mixed with the stabilization of that, plus the internal stabilization of the phone and the lenses and all the things that it's doing, you can get some pretty awesome smooth footage.
Oh.
But you know, we use a different format. We shoot in ProRes, which most of the people I've tried to talk to, it's kind of like right over their head, which maybe I'm not explaining it correctly. But it's also, you know, I mean, it's industry jargon, things that we talk about on a day-to-day basis. But It's actually a setting that you have to physically turn on within your iPhone to actually show the button on your camera.
Yeah. Most people barely know what a JPEG is.
Correct. And I highly recommend that you don't go finding the setting and using it all the time on your video. It's limited to certain resolutions and frame rates. And it's also a huge data sucker.
Have you talked about how hard it is to get files off your phone when you do that?
Apple. I know you're not listening, but if you were listening, just let me plug my phone in and move my files. So these files are huge. Like we're talking, I go shoot a house. We do video work on it. Let's say it's like a 1,500 square foot house. We do the interior, exterior. We shoot it on the iPhone. We're talking 1080. So regular HD resolution, not even 4K. Okay. I'll probably leave there with like 40 to 60 gigabyte worth of files.
Okay. Yeah, that's not terrible.
I mean, it's not terrible.
Yeah.
But it's a lot
for full HD, that's kind of a lot.
Yeah. As soon as you go to 4K, you really start.
Yeah.
It's, again, we're using the wide angle lens. So, we're not using the biggest sensor that we can on the phone. There's a lot of things that go into that. We're not shooting at crazy high frame rates. So it's still one of those things like moving that sort of data though. From the phone to the computer, that's the issues because you can only do it with AirDrop essentially.
AirDrop, I thought you could do it over the cable, but it's like USB 2.0 speeds.
Correct, but the problem is when you do that too, for whatever reason, it reformats all the videos.
Oh, so oh no.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to do it over AirDrop.
You pretty much have to do it over AirDrop. I haven't found a workaround. I mean, somebody tell me if I'm wrong here, but I have done search after search online looking for videos.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah, no, it's horrible. And it takes forever.
Yeah,
and it fails
bet.
all the time.
Oh, no.
It's like I have a brand new MacBook and a fairly brand new phone. I mean, again, I just bought it at the
latest.
end of, I've got the 13 Pro Max, the big boy. And it's like, no. So I transfer like 5 at a time. And
yeah. Well, I did see a rumor that for the iPhone 15,
I just saw
that we may be getting a USB-C iPhone.
Yeah, and if they put USB-C on it, I will instantly buy one.
I will too, because one, like it's the only thing left really that's using the Lightning port. Like the MacBooks have it, the iPads have it. I mean, come on. Like what are they waiting for? Like they're shoving it on like the Beats headphone things and like the AirPods. It's like, what are you doing, Apple?
I know.
It's like nobody wants this. You talk about reducing waste, like getting rid of the Lightning port would reduce waste.
Yeah, because like I have a shortage of Lightning cables and an abundance of USB-Cs.
Right. Yeah. It's just, it doesn't. Apple, get on it.
Come on, guys. There's no reason that it shouldn't be able to do that. And like you said, up the speed.
Up it.
Give me the Pro and give me the Pro speeds. Don't put it on all of them, whatever.
Yeah.
If someone buys a base iPhone, give them 2.0 speeds.
You can't call it Pro and not have like a fast way to get your footage off. It doesn't make any sense.
Because that's the thing too, is like, help me to do these things in an easier fashion. I will use it more.
Yeah.
We're kind of apprehensive to do it all the time because it's getting the footage back and forth has just been kind of hateful. So
yeah, that would make me want to not use the feature I paid for.
Yeah, right. Which ProRes was one of the big things that pushed me over the edge to buy the iPhone.
Oh yeah,
because I knew I could work it into my business. So that was kind of the big deal.
Yeah, we love the format ProRes. It's what we shoot. It's what our Ronin 4D can shoot in. That's what we want to shoot in. It's what our external recorder does. It's just a great format. It has a lot of detail and the files don't get massive quickly.
Yep. They can, depending upon which version of ProRes.
You have to choose which one.
Yes.
We use like the one above Proxy, I think. Because Proxy is meant for like working with not the true format.
Right.
So, yeah.
I have no idea. I've looked through the chart. The chart is so confusing on which format to use.
It's very technical, so I understand they're not trying to brand it to general audience.
It says ProRes, like it is for professionals.
Yeah.
This is something that
it's not for your grandma to go and figure out.
No, because when you shoot something like that, like you need to do color grading on the footage because it's kind of giving you a somewhat raw That's the best way to kind of put it, right?
Unprocessed
image. So you have to do post-processing on it to make it look the way that you want.
Yeah.
But the fact is you have the data to be able to give it that look or whatever you're going for.
Yeah, like if you're shooting a room and then like the bright sun is pouring in through the windows, you can still pull in a lot of more information from there if it was just blazing in from like a normal setup.
Well, especially because you're getting the HDR as well through the iPhone, which is really nice.
I still don't understand how HDR works in video compared to, because when you explain it and show it to me on photo, it just makes sense. You like take it at a very low exposure, then a little bit more, and you just combine them all into one and you figure it out. And then photo and video is like barely transferable in knowledge.
Correct.
It's like, I don't even know how they do it.
I don't either, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
Because again, I know how much data I can pull out of an HDR image from my camera, which is a lot of data. A lot.
Yeah.
And the Ronin gets close.
Yeah.
Ronin gets pretty close. Still limited to a certain degree, but pretty close. Which we're also not shooting in the highest formats that it can shoot in, because it also like the data and the cost, like there's we're business. So.
We need to have like 10 times the storage on our server just to be able to have anything.
Yes.
Like that.
Yes, that's the issue. So cost, space, all the things.
We now understand why that small channel, Linus Tech Tips, pays for a massive server of footage, because they hoard all of the stuff they make, which is insane. I don't know why you're doing that, but it's a lot of information nonetheless. So like what they're doing makes senes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which we're purging. So
we are purging.
Hope you got what you wanted.
Purge. Oh, geez.
I think that's all we got.
Yeah, I think
it's been
we
a
had a
long
lot
day.
of good things today.
Yeah. So,
all right.
It's been very nice chatting with you.
Yeah, I think
David, this was cool. I'm glad we got to nerd out a little bit.
Nerd out on the things that Tristan doesn't know about sometimes.
Yeah, no, and I could talk cell phones all day. So, which speaking of, I'm not going to fully give it away, but we might have. We sound somewhat knowledgeable in this area, right? And we're talking about cameras and all the things. We might have some things coming. So I don't know if it's going to be soon, but we're working on it. So look out for that.
Yeah.
We'll probably announce it.
I don't even know what he's talking about. I'm excited.
I'll tell him about it when we're done. But yeah, so I don't know how many more episodes we got here on season 3 either. I'm just going to give you all a heads up.
Yeah.
I think like midsummer, we're probably going to go ahead and... we're going to be done with season 3 and start development on season 4. I promise there's not going to be a big gap in the 2 seasons. We want to keep things moving. We've got a lot of ideas, and we just want to make sure that we can stay,
make it feasible for us to continue doing this and get our work done.
Well, not even just that. Just we want to make sure that... you guys that are out there listening and watching get the most out of the show, and we can stay on track and make things clear and concise as we go through. But you get to enjoy us, hopefully. Anyways, just making it better each season. So we have the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, it's something we love doing, and we want to make it more and more improved every time we start it up. So
if we wait any longer, we're not going to be able to make big changes. So it's time to make big changes, go to the next season. So we'll keep you guys updated on what's going on there. Awesomely, this was episode 22.
Yep.
We're killing it.
I can't believe we're
so
this
excited.
Yeah.
So excited. We're going to get more guests. It's happening. We've got a lot of people that we're working on getting on the show. We're going to have a bunch more guests before we're done. Maybe we'll just start pumping out guest episodes every week just to get some people in here, because that'll be a lot of fun. So watch out for it. But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you have been, check us out online. If you want to check out more podcast stuff with the video, you can go on YouTube. You can also go to the TRIFLIX Cast Instagram page. There's a bunch of fun stuff on there.
Follow us.
A lot of stuff that doesn't get on YouTube, so check it out. Then also, if you want to see what we're doing on day-to-day basis with the company, TRIFLIX LLC on Instagram, also on Facebook. You can go to the website, triflix.com, check it out. Maybe you want to hire us. We've been doing a ton of work lately, and it's awesome, and we want more of it. So get a hold of us. We can do a lot of cool stuff, guys. We've got a lot of new gear, a lot of stuff we're working on, and
we'd love to work with you.
We would love to work with you. Thanks for listening to the best podcast in the best town, Columbus,
with the best audience,
with the best. I can't talk. Bye.